Have you ever found yourself chasing after someone's love, constantly trying to prove your worth, hoping they will finally see how much you care? Have you ever felt like no matter what you do, no matter how much love you give, it's just never enough? If you have, you are not alone. Many of us fall into the trap of begging for love, thinking that if we try a little harder, if they sacrifice a little more, if they just hold on long enough, the person they love will finally love them back. But here's the truth. Love should never be begged for. As a Muslim, you are honored by Allah. You were not created to suffer in a one-sided relationship. You were not created to lower yourself for someone who does not appreciate you. You were created with dignity, and you should never trade that dignity for someone's attention. In this video, we will discuss 7 powerful reasons why you should never beg for love as a Muslim. These are not just emotional or psychological reasons. They are deeply rooted in Islamic teachings, in the wisdom of the Quran and the Sunnah. And stay with me till the end of this video, because we will also be sharing what you should do instead. If you've ever struggled with love, if you've ever felt unappreciated, if you've ever wondered why the love you desire isn't coming to you, this video is for you. And before we start, welcome to the Inspired Muslim channel. This is a space where we explore faith, self-growth, and spiritual enlightenment, all through the wisdom of the Quran and the teachings of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. Our goal is to help you strengthen your faith, build confidence, and live a life of purpose as a Muslim. So if you find value in content that uplifts your soul and brings you closer to Allah, be sure to subscribe and stay connected. Now let's begin. 1. Your dignity is precious. Dignity. It is one of the greatest blessings that Allah has given to human beings. It is a divine gift, a mark of honor, a shield of self-respect. Yet, in the pursuit of love, we unknowingly throw our dignity away, lowering ourselves for the acceptance of others. We chase, we plead, we exhaust ourselves emotionally, all in the hope that someone will finally love us in return. But love was never meant to be something that strips away our self-worth. It was never meant to make us feel small, unwanted, or forgotten. Love in its purest form is a source of strength, not weakness. It is a blessing, not a burden. Allah reminds us in the Quran, and we have certainly honored the children of Adam, verse 70. This verse is a reminder of who we truly are, honored, chosen, created with purpose. Allah has given us dignity, something far more valuable than the fleeting approval of another human being. So why would anyone give up this divine gift just to feel wanted by someone who does not see their worth? True love is given freely. It is not something you have to beg for. If someone truly cares for you, they will not make you chase after them. They will not make you feel as though you must constantly prove your value. But when love is forced, when it must be begged for, it no longer uplifts. It diminishes. It creates an unhealthy cycle of seeking validation from someone who may never appreciate your presence. It leads to heartbreak, humiliation, and deep emotional wounds that can take years to heal. Some people believe that if they love hard enough, if they give more, if they sacrifice their self-respect, the other person will finally reciprocate. But love does not work this way. The more a person lowers themselves to be loved, the further they push themselves away from true happiness. A person who begs for love is like a traveler in the desert, chasing mirages. They believe that if they just keep going, they will eventually reach water. But the closer they get, the more they realize that it was never real. It was only an illusion. The one who truly understands their worth does not beg. They do not chase. They do not lower themselves for what was never meant for them. Instead, they walk away with faith, trusting in the one who created their heart. They understand that what is meant for them will never pass them by. If someone does not see your worth, if they do not return your love, walk away with dignity, because in the end, the love that is truly meant for you will find you without you having to sacrifice your self-respect to receive it. 2. Begging for love can lead to humiliation. There is nothing more painful than lowering yourself for someone who does not see your worth. To give your heart so completely, only to be met with indifference. To hold on so tightly to someone who does not care if you let go. This is not love, it is self-destruction. When a person begs for love, they unknowingly hand over their dignity. They accept treatment that is beneath them. They tolerate neglect, indifference, and even disrespect, all for the sake of feeling wanted. But at what cost? The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, gave us a timeless piece of wisdom. When you ask Allah, and when you seek help from Allah. This hadith is a powerful reminder. Turn to Allah, not people. When you chase after people, when you lower yourself for their attention, you place your happiness in the hands of someone who does not control your destiny. And the truth is, people can sense desperation. When someone sees that you are willing to do anything for their love, they may begin to take you for granted. They may start treating you as an option, knowing that no matter what they do, you will always be there. Waiting, hoping, begging. But real love does not make you feel unwanted. It does not make you question your worth. It does not put you in a position where you have to convince someone to stay. Begging for love strips away your self-respect, piece by piece. It makes you accept things you once swore you never would. It makes you tolerate mistreatment in the hope that one day things will change. But the harsh reality is, if you have to beg for love, it was never real to begin with. Love that is forced does not bring happiness. It brings pain, self-doubt, and deep emotional wounds. Some people believe that by proving their devotion, by never giving up, they will eventually win someone's heart. But let's ask an important question. Would you really want love that was given out of pity? Would you really want to be with someone who is only with you because they feel guilty, because they feel pressured, because they have no other choice? That is not love. That is settling. And settling is not the way of a believer. A believer knows their worth. A believer knows that true love is not begged for. It is given freely, with respect, with kindness, and with sincerity. If someone does not see your worth, if they do not appreciate you, if they are indifferent to your presence, walk away with dignity. Do not plead. Do not chase. Do not humiliate yourself for the temporary approval of someone who does not deserve your heart. Because the love that is meant for you, the love that is pure, the love that is beautiful, the love that is a blessing, will never require you to lose yourself to attain it. Instead of begging for love, turn to the one who is the source of all love, Allah, Al-Wadud, the most loving. Ask him to place love in the heart of the one who is truly meant for you. And if it is not written, then trust that he is saving you from something that was never meant to bring you peace. 3. Trust in Allah's decree. There is a deep peace that comes from trusting Allah's plan, a peace that no rejection, no heartbreak, and no loss can take away. Because when you truly believe in Qad, Allah's divine decree, you understand that what is meant for you will never pass you by, and what is not meant for you will never stay. Yet, too often, people struggle to accept this. They cling to relationships that are falling apart. They beg for the attention of those who have already chosen to walk away. They fight against the reality that Allah has placed before them, believing that if they try hard enough, they can change what was never written for them. But Allah, in His infinite wisdom, reminds us, but perhaps you hate a thing and it is good for you, and perhaps you love a thing and it is bad for you, and Allah knows, while you know not. This verse is not just a reminder, it is a powerful truth. There are things we desire that are not good for us. There are people we love who are not meant for us. There are relationships we hold on to that would only bring us pain in the long run. But because our vision is limited, we do not always see the wisdom behind Allah's decisions. We only see the pain of rejection, the emptiness of loss, the disappointment of unfulfilled love. But Allah sees everything. He sees what the future holds. He sees what is best for our hearts. He sees what will bring us true happiness. And so, when He removes someone from your life, trust Him. Maybe that person would have harmed you emotionally, spiritually, or even physically. Maybe they would have pulled you away from your faith. Maybe their presence in your life would have been a test that would break you rather than build you. Allah does not withhold what is good for you. He only removes what was never meant to be yours. So instead of questioning His plan, instead of begging for something that is slipping away, place your trust in Him. Because when you hold on to something that Allah is trying to remove, you only bring yourself more pain. Think of it this way. Imagine a child reaching for a flame. They see its beauty, its warmth, and they want to touch it. But their parent, knowing the danger, pulls them away. The child cries, not understanding why something so beautiful is being taken from them. But the parent knows that flame would burn them. And sometimes the love we chase after is just like that flame. It looks beautiful, it feels warm. But if Allah is pulling us away, it is because He knows it will harm us in ways we cannot yet see. So trust Him. Instead of begging for love from people, turn to Allah and ask Him for what is truly best for you. Pray with sincerity. O Allah, if this person is good for me in my faith, my life, and my future, bring them closer to me. And if they are not, remove them from my heart and grant me peace with your decree. Because when you trust Allah's plan, you will never feel desperate for love. You will never feel the need to beg. You will never feel like you have lost something valuable, because you will know, deep in your heart, that whatever is meant for you will come in its perfect time, in the most beautiful way, by Allah's will. And until then, be patient, be at peace, and know that Allah's love is always enough. 4. Begging for love distracts you from self-growth. There is a dangerous trap that many people fall into: the belief that their happiness, their worth, and their completeness depend on someone else's love. They spend their days chasing after a person who does not value them, hoping that one day their efforts will be enough. But in doing so, they lose sight of something far more important: themselves. Islam teaches us that our purpose in life is not to chase after people, but to strive for excellence in our faith, our character, and our actions. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "The best among you are those who have the best manners and character." Bukhari Hadith 3559. Notice that he did not say, "The best among you are those who are loved by others." Your value is not defined by who loves you, who accepts you, or who chooses to stay in your life. Your worth is defined by your relationship with Allah and the way you carry yourself. But when you beg for love, you shift your focus away from self-improvement and towards seeking validation from someone else. You stop working on your own growth, your own spirituality, and your own ambitions, because all your energy is spent trying to gain the approval of another person. And what happens when you do this? You begin to lose yourself. You start changing who you are to please someone else. You begin to tolerate things you once swore you never would. You silence your needs, your goals, your dreams, all because you believe that if you just do enough, they will finally love you the way you want. But at what cost? The person you are meant to be is lost in the process. Instead of becoming stronger, you become weaker. Instead of growing in confidence, you shrink in self-doubt. Instead of improving your connection with Allah, you become consumed by thoughts of someone who does not even prioritize you. But Islam teaches us a different way, a way of strength, dignity, and self-respect. Instead of wasting time begging for love, a believer focuses on becoming the best version of themselves. Because when you work on yourself, when you build your character, when you strengthen your faith, then the right person will be drawn to you naturally. So if you ever find yourself running after someone, stop. Turn that energy towards yourself. Work on your relationship with Allah. Improve your character. Chase after knowledge, skills, and personal growth. Because the best relationships are not built on desperation. They are built on two whole individuals who come together in love, not out of need, but out of choice. And the best love of all? The love of Allah. That is the only love you never have to beg for, and the only love that will truly fulfill you. Before we continue, if you're finding value in this video, I have a request from you. Please take a moment to subscribe to the Inspired Muslim channel and like the video. By doing so, you're not just helping us grow, you're supporting the spread of Islamic knowledge, motivation, and spiritual enlightenment to countless others. Together, we can inspire more people to strengthen their faith, their mindset, and their connection to Allah. If you wish to support us and have exclusive access to our content, you may consider joining the membership of our channel. So, hit that join and subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to join us on this journey of growth and self-discovery. Now let's continue. 5. Your worth is not defined by someone else's love. Take a moment and ask yourself, who determines your worth? Is it the person who ignores your messages? Is it the one who never makes time for you? Is it the one who makes you feel like you are not enough? Or is it Allah, the one who created you, honored you, and loves you unconditionally? Too often, people measure their worth by how much love and attention they receive from others. If someone chooses them, they feel valuable. If someone rejects them, they feel worthless. But this is a dangerous way to live, because it means that your happiness, your self-esteem, and even your identity are in the hands of another human being. And human beings are flawed. They may love you today and forget you tomorrow. They may appreciate you in one moment and take you for granted in the next. If your worth is tied to their love, then your heart will always be at their mercy. But true self-worth does not come from people. It comes from knowing who you are in the eyes of Allah. Allah has already given you worth, regardless of who accepts or rejects you. He says in the Quran, "And we have certainly honored the children of Adam." Quran 17 verse 70, you are honored by Allah. Your existence is not dependent on someone else's validation. Your value is not measured by whether another person chooses to love you. You were created with purpose, with dignity, and with worth that no human being can take away. But when you beg for love, when you chase after someone who does not appreciate you, you give them control over your self-worth. You allow them to decide how you feel about yourself. You let them determine whether you are enough. But no human being has the right to define your worth. If someone does not see your value, that is their loss, not yours. If someone does not love you, it does not mean you are unworthy of love. It simply means they are not the person Allah has written for you. And when you recognize this, you free yourself. You stop settling for less than you deserve. You stop begging for love that was never meant for you. You stop chasing after people who do not appreciate you. Because the one who truly values you will never need to be convinced to love you. 6. Love should be given freely. Love, in its purest form, is a gift. It is not a transaction. It is not something that must be earned through endless sacrifice or desperate pursuit. True love is given freely, willingly, and without force. In the Quran, Allah beautifully describes the foundation of love in marriage. And He has placed between you affection and mercy. Quran 30 verse 21. Notice the words placed between you. Allah does not say that love must be begged for, chased after, or painfully fought for. He places it between two people naturally. It is not something that can be demanded or forced. It is a divine connection that is written by Him. Yet too often people find themselves chasing love that was never meant for them. They plead for attention, they compromise their values, and they hold on to relationships where love is one-sided. They believe that if they just try harder, if they just do more, they will finally be loved in return. But this is not love. This is attachment. This is desperation. This is a test of self-worth. When love is real, it flows effortlessly between two people. There is mutual care, mutual respect, and mutual effort. Neither person feels the need to beg, because love, when it is true, is a choice, not an obligation. But when love is forced, it turns into pain. Imagine a person holding a handful of sand. If they try to grip it tightly, it slips through their fingers. But if they hold it gently, without force, it stays. Love is the same. When you try to force it, when you beg for it, when you hold on too tightly to someone who does not feel the same, you only push them further away. No one should have to convince another to love them. No one should have to exhaust themselves just to be seen, valued, or appreciated. If love is not given freely, then it is not love. It is longing, it is desire. But it is not the kind of love that Allah blesses with peace and fulfillment. Some people think that persistence will win someone's heart. They believe that if they keep proving themselves, if they continue to wait, eventually the other person will realize their worth. But what is the value of love that comes only after endless pleading? If someone cannot see your worth from the beginning, then they do not deserve your love at all. Until then, trust in Allah, protect your heart, and never lower yourself for a love that was never meant to stay. 7. Allah is the bestower of love. Love is not something that can be forced, manipulated, or begged for. It is a blessing from Allah, and only He controls the hearts of His creation. If love is meant for you, it will find its way to you. If it is not, no amount of pleading, effort, or sacrifice can make it stay. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, Indeed, the hearts of all the children of Adam are between the two fingers of the Most Merciful, and He turns them as He wills. See Muslim 2654. This hadith is a powerful reminder. Love is in the hands of Allah. If He decrees love between two people, nothing can separate them. And if He has not written love between them, no amount of effort can force it to exist. Yet, so many people find themselves in relationships where they constantly seek validation. They try to earn love through sacrifice, through endless giving, through losing themselves just to keep someone else's attention. But in reality, no human effort can change what Allah has not decreed. Think of the many stories of the past of people who were deeply in love but were not destined to be together. Even the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, himself experienced this. He proposed to a noble woman named Fakita bint Abi Talib. But despite their admiration for each other, she refused because she wanted to stay by her father's side. The love was there, but it was not written for them to be together. This shows us a profound truth. Love alone is not enough. It must be willed by Allah. Some people exhaust themselves chasing after someone who does not love them back, believing that if they try hard enough, they can change their fate. But love is not something we create. It is something that Allah places in the hearts of whom He wills. Instead of begging people for love, turn to Allah. If someone is meant for you, Allah will soften their heart toward you. And if they are not, He will protect you from a love that was never meant to be yours. When you chase after people, when you seek love from the wrong sources, you are placing your heart in the hands of those who do not have control over it. But when you turn to Allah, when you trust in His plan, you find peace, even in rejection, even in unfulfilled love, even in heartbreak. Because you know that what is written for you will never miss you. Allah's plan is always greater than our desires. Sometimes we want something so badly that we fail to see that it is not good for us. We forget that Allah, in His infinite wisdom, may be protecting us from a love that would harm us, a relationship that would break us, or a future that is not meant for us. The Quran reminds us, but perhaps you hate a thing and it is good for you, and perhaps you love a thing and it is bad for you, and Allah knows while you know not. This verse teaches us to surrender, to trust, to believe that if something is meant for us, it will come, not by force, not by pleading, but by Allah's perfect decree. So if you ever feel the urge to chase after love, to beg for someone's attention, to hold on to something that is slipping away, pause. Ask yourself, have I placed my trust in people, or have I placed my trust in Allah? Because the love that is truly meant for you will never require you to lose your dignity. It will never require you to beg. It will come effortlessly at the right time by the will of Allah. Conclusion. Love is a gift from Allah, but it should never come at the cost of your dignity. When you beg for love, you hand over control of your happiness and self-worth to another human being. But your worth is not determined by who loves you. Your worth is already written by Allah. Allah says, "And we have certainly honored the children of Adam." 70. You are already honored. You do not need to chase, beg, or plead for someone to see your value. The one who is truly meant for you, the one Allah has written for you, will recognize your worth without you having to prove it. When you stop begging for love, when you let go of unhealthy attachments, when you place your trust in Allah, something amazing happens. You start to attract the right things into your life. The right love, the right person, the one who will appreciate you for who you are, without conditions, without manipulation, without making you feel like you are not enough. But this only happens when you focus on what truly matters, your relationship with Allah and your own self-growth. Instead of chasing love, chase knowledge. Instead of lowering your standards for someone who does not appreciate you, raise your standards for yourself. Instead of wasting time trying to convince the wrong person to love you, spend that time becoming the best version of yourself. Because when you do this, when you invest in yourself, when you carry yourself with dignity, the right person will be drawn to you naturally. They will come into your life at the right time, in the right way, and without you ever having to beg. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Know that what has missed you was never meant to hit you, and what has hit you was never meant to miss you." If someone is not meant for you, Let them go. Do not fight against what Allah has already decided. Instead, trust that He will bring you something better, something that is truly meant for you. And while you wait, keep moving forward. Keep growing. Keep strengthening your faith. Because when you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, Allah will send the right one into your life. At the right time, in the right way, and with the right intentions. And this love will not require begging. It will not require suffering. It will not break your heart. It will come with ease, with peace, with sincerity, because it is written for you by the one who loves you most. So trust in Allah, focus on yourself, and know that what is meant for you will never pass you by.